These billionaires get bored.
I can't hear anything. I really can't.
Really?
Really can't. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's money. That's literally all that matters at the end of this.
So you can only eat so much caviar. How do you stay entertained and alive if you're someone like Jerry Jones?
Well, Kyle, Jerry actually stays alive the same way all old rich billionaires do.
He's my transfusion associate.
Which is?
Are you really not familiar with parabiosis?
Transfusions from their blood boys on a weekly basis.
Transfusions of the blood of a younger, physically fit donor can significantly retard the aging process.
The patience for Cowboys All-Pro edge defender Micah Parsons is run out after what continues to be a weird negotiation period with Jones.
And both of you have to agree to make an adjustment in that contract.
Nobody says, I don't want to be a Cowboy.
Micah officially requested that the Dallas Cowboys trade him. Micah made the trade request as one does these days by posting a thank you to the city of Dallas on social media. Despite the historical significance of becoming the first person to ever thank the city of Dallas, it's probably just a negotiation tactic, right?
It's just part of negotiation.
Adam Schefter did a nice job giving us the bullet points from Micah's post, noting, Micah said, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to the closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying on the line for the organization or fans and my teammates. I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Not only is Micah in the right, I'm not sure anyone other than Jared Jones knows why an extension hasn't already been done. Two other notable standout NFL players also want new contracts. Trey Hendrickson, who did show up to Bengals training camp this last week to avoid $50,000 a day fines. Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin requested a trade a day or two before Micah Parsons. Both Terry and Trey are trying to get some major guaranteed money and annual salaries close to $30 million per year. Both of those players are approaching 30, and as we've noted several times on this channel, Micah Parsons is just 26. This is the exact correct time to pay Micah, or hell, overpay him. While I'd love to see Trey and Terry both get their bags, there's a practical part of my brain, albeit very small, that understands the hesitancy from those organizations. There is no part of my brain that gets what Jerry is doing other than masterfully keeping Dallas relevant in the headlines in the offseason. Just like my 4-year-old at home, sometimes you just have to accept that what they are saying and doing makes absolutely no sense. The only difference, of course, is my 4-year-old isn't in charge of a $10 billion NFL franchise. Trey, Terry, Micah, and now Bills running back James Cook is holding in after abruptly stopping at practice on Sunday. So today, I, Brendan Perna, knower of football things, will discuss whether or not Micah's trade request is real or as inanimate as the green dildos getting tossed on WNBA courts across the country. 2025 will forever be known as the summer of green dildos and fake trade requests. And we'll talk James Cook, Trey, and Terry here on That's Good Sports. My eyes are closed for some reason. We are about 12,000 subscribers away from 775,000. We are trying to get to 775 before the NFL season kicks off. So if you like football, please subscribe here. We got to get to that number so then feasibly we can be talking about 1 million at this point next year, okay? Today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek, and my code, that's good 10, to get 10% off your next purchase on SeatGeek. This summer, I've used SeatGeek to get tickets for 3 concerts and go to a Rockies game, and now that football is officially back, you can get tickets to any of the NFL preseason games. Week 2, of course, in the preseason is usually the best game to attend with starters playing the longest, typically speaking, double check. You should also zero in on the regular season games you want to attend. Now that we're all Believers here in Denver, those Broncos tickets are hot. They're hot and selling fast, which is why using SeatGeek is the way to go. There's over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, which means you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads. If you go to any game or concert or show, use my code THATSGOOD10 for 10% off and use my link below to download the app, and the code will automatically be applied for later. Each ticket on SeatGeek is rated on a scale from 1 to 10, so you know if it's a good deal. Every ticket's also backed by their buyer guarantee. SeatGeek, use my code, that's good 10. The kitchen is heating up in Buffalo, and James Cook is holding the Bills brass to the flames. James Cook, who has an impressive 5.9 yards per touch as a Buffalo Bill, made it known months ago he wants a new contract. Cook has also made a good faith effort as he showed up for minicamp and training camp. Cook is coming off a career year, right, where he ripped 16 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving TDs for 18 total touchdowns, and is heading into year 4 of his rookie deal. Cook's situation honestly seemed pretty boilerplate to me. He'd play out this season on his rookie deal, and the Bills would seriously address a new contract offer after this season. Cook is great, and I think he finally clicked last season fully with the Bills offense, but as a running back in a system where everything goes through Josh Allen, Buffalo does not have to pay James Cook.
Cook keeps us out of trouble.
I'm not saying letting Cook walk is the right move, but if you look at the other top quarterbacks, like say Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, neither organization is overpaying a running back. Bills GM Brandon Beane was surprised that Cook stopped practicing over the weekend. He called it, quote, disappointing.
At the end of the day, I wish we weren't here. This is my 9th season here. We've never had a player miss due to a contract or anything like that, so that's disappointing for me.
I think that's a sign of a good organization. Ari pointed out on Twitter that James Cook has the same agent as Shamar Stewart, who of course was the last first-round rookie to sign his contract after a mini holdout. I believe the Bills want to pay James, I do, but I also think Cook and his agent are out of their minds if they're seeking Saquon Barkley type money. Cook isn't on that level yet, and unlike quarterback contracts where teams are forced to overpay good but maybe not elite quarterbacks, the running back market does not work like that. And unlike Trey Hendrickson or Micah Parsons, if Cook does not play, the chances of another running back emerging in his absence are far greater. Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, Darrington Evans will all get carries behind a pretty damn good Bills offensive line. A solid offensive line can make plenty of running backs look good, and that's a risk Cook needs to consider. Now, Brandon Beane and the Bills like to take care of their own players, too. We've seen that time and time again, maybe to their own detriment.
He is a player who deserves a contract extension. They have offered him one, but they have other contractual priorities, including, by the way, the big deal Josh Allen got at the beginning of the offseason.
But if Cook and his agent aren't willing to compromise, he's not going to get a new deal in Buffalo.
There's been constant communication with his agent, either with myself or Kevin Megank and with Jimbo.
I hope Cook gets a good contract, and I hope he stays with the Bills, but at this point, he's not as essential as any of the other players holding out at the moment. The Bills are going to lose in the playoffs whether he has 2 touchdowns or 16 TDs. Fuck, I'm sorry, Buffalo. Both Trey Hendrickson and Micah Parsons are the best players on their side of the ball. They can make cases for being the best at their position based on multiple years of production. Terry McLaurin is a very important piece for the Washington Commanders offense, but I think most of us are really rooting for Terry to get paid because he's endured the quarterback purgatory in Washington for so long.
Respectfully, Washington, you were a dumpster fire for years.
Like Cook, his touchdown numbers skyrocketed in 2024. Terry went from 4 TDs to 13. That's because the offense as a whole got better, and because Jaden Daniels is insane. I think Terry and James are in similar situations, but Terry has years of service in a shithole on his side.
You were a laughingstock The only thing good about your organization was that young man.
Just because Washington is on the up and up, none of us are going to forget that Terry endured years inside of that outhouse. Difference for Terry, though, is you could argue to keep Jaden Daniels from regressing, you really want Terry on the field in 2025. Maybe PFT can offer Terry his El Camino to sweeten the deal instead of giving it to Jaden.
Okay, I got a good car if you want one.
What do you got?
1970 El Camino.
Okay, I love that.
You want it?
The problem for Buffalo is they are technically over the cap right now and in 2026. Buffalo really does have to get creative with their cap for the next few years. The McLaurin hiccup is weird to me because Jaden, still on his rookie deal, Washington has $17 million in cap space right now, and are projected top 5 in cap space in 2026 and 2027. I believe they will get something worked out with Terry, even at the roughly $30 million per year he wants, before the Bills and James Cook agree on a contract. Terry gets extended because it's simply the right thing to do.
We love Terry. We're really glad he's here. Hopefully he's out practicing soon. And we also understand there's the business side of this thing that Adam and his side and Terry and his reps are working it through. So just kind of, stay in that space. We recognize both are happening, but like I said, I'm really glad he's here. I love coaching him.
Now, months ago, Trey Hendrickson vehemently requested that the Bengals trade him. Didn't work. Micah Parsons is as forceful as one can be with his post about not wanting to be in Dallas. Trey is now at Bengals camp, but he's not participating, which to me suggests that Trey and the Bengals will figure something out. I, too, would not be forfeiting $50,000 per day for not being at training camp, but as a fan of drama, I'm a little annoyed that Trey caved. Stand your ground and make those sons of bitches trade you, Trey. It's August and I need the views, okay? I also believe Trey Hendrickson has a terrible agent, and that's a bigger issue in his contract situation. Now, I'm not trying to help Jerry Jones, okay?
Are you considering trading Mike?
Wait a minute, I can't hear anything. I really can't.
Really?
Really can't.
But I do know what tweet Micah Parsons wants back. This was Micah tweeting on the Nico Yamalavea situation back in April. Back when I made a video about Nico and remembered how to say his last name correctly. In April, Micah really wrote the words, "Actually hold players accountable to the contracts they sign." No, Micah! How could you not realize you were going to be requesting to not be held accountable for the contract you signed 4 months later? Micah will make $24 million this year to play on his 5th-year option, per the damn contract he signed. Here's why we will forgive Micah for ignoring his own words. Guys like Broncos defensive end Zach Allen, Steelers edger TJ Watt getting paid recently continues to make Jerry Jones look out of touch, and simply like an owner who can't compete in today's NFL. We're all assuming Jerry is doing his annual posturing, right? And he will eventually pay Micah Parsons, and that the contract he has to give him will be slightly more inflated, all because Jerry wanted to do it the Jerry way. Once I find me my glory hole, I'll pay Micah Parsons. The Jerry way is also about keeping the Cowboys as relevant as humanly possible at all times. And since he cannot monopolize prime time in July and August, Jerry loves to have manufactured holdouts and trade requests and drama with his stars. We watched it with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and now it's Micah. Now, I want to talk about how smart the Zach Allen extension was for the Denver Broncos. Like Micah, Zach had 1 year left on his deal. The Broncos, with new ownership, a GM who whiffed hard on Russell Wilson, and a head coach heading into year 3, are showing how evolving and adapting keeps your team in the game. When Denver signed Zach Allen back in 2023, a lot of fans were not happy that they chose him over defensive lineman Draymond Jones. Turns out that was one of the smartest things this team could have done for their defense, because Zach Allen plays all over the defensive line and has been putting up Aaron Donald-like numbers as a game wrecker. Allen had 75 pressures last season, 16 tackles for a loss, both ranked at number 1 from his position. Allen just got a 4-year, $102 million extension with $69.5 million guaranteed. Nice. The Broncos extended him early because he earned it. He's almost 28, so it's the right time to add 4 years to his deal, and they want to keep their cornerstone players happy. That's what smart fucking teams do. The Eagles do it, the Chiefs do it, the Rams do it, and I promise you, the Broncos are entering that conversation. Those teams also make tough decisions. The Eagles let Milton Williams go. The reason they're able to do that is twofold. One, they avoid contract problems down the road by thinking ahead. And two, they have replacement options for some of those tough decisions. They know what they do well in the draft. They know how they can replace those players. And it feels like the Cowboys are never thinking ahead in any of these contract situations. Jerry is sticking to a formula that he likes. But unlike those other teams that I mentioned, his formula doesn't work. Dallas hasn't sniffed a Super Bowl since the 90s. Jerry thinks Micah's request is bullshit, just like the rest of us, but Jerry thinks that's because he believes playing for the star is still a privilege.
This man believes it's such a privilege to work for the Dallas Cowboys that he believes he can move at his own pace.
Jerry knows money talks, and if you eventually get a man paid, all is good. The shit with Micah, though, is hitting a bit different, because neither Dak nor CeeDee Lamb came out and publicly criticized Jerry Jones and said they do not want to be part of the Cowboys. Jerry trying to negotiate with Micah without Micah's agent present is just something I don't think other owners are doing. Micah referenced that in his post. Essentially what happened was Micah and Jerry had a conversation about money. Micah thought it was simply setting the framework for an official conversation with his agent. Jerry took it as that was the negotiation. That's only something someone who thinks they know more than everyone else does. So when Jerry eventually pays Micah more than Myles Garrett, more than TJ Watt in a few weeks or a month, he's going to feel good about himself despite everyone else pointing at him and saying you spent more than you had to for the sole reason of being a stubborn old dog. And in the real world, stubborn old dogs get taken out to pasture. Right? In Jerry world, they rule supreme, and they will deploy a good team that underachieves while that dog keeps humping legs and pissing all over the carpet because it's Jerry world! I don't think a soul on earth believes Micah will actually get traded. Not even Micah. The devastating injury to Demarion Overshown last year guarantees Dallas can't live without Parsons on the field. What could Dallas get for Parsons in a trade? Probably at least 2 first-round picks and a handful of others. It would be big. Which teams would be interested in giving that up for Micah Parsons? All of them, including the Steelers and Browns, who just paid their edge defenders the highest contracts for the position ever. And I'm not going to waste your time predicting where Parsons could land. He will be back in Dallas, but not until Jerry has had his fill of attention. The last edge defender of Micah's caliber to get traded in his prime was, of course, Khalil Mack. And while that was a sexy blockbuster trade, and Khalil was as good as advertised, he did go to Chicago, so that didn't work. The Raiders fumbled the draft capital that they acquired. Had they not lucked into Max Crosby in the draft, we'd talk about that being one of the worst trades of the last decade. Teams don't ditch star edge rushers in their prime unless they're rebuilding. The closest example is the Broncos trading away Von Miller to the Rams and Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins, and neither of those trades register with anyone outside of Denver because Chubb was battling injuries and Von was entering the twilight of his career. If Jerry has any competitive instinct left in him, he will see this trade request as a mistake on his part. He's not ahead of the curve, and he hasn't been since he was being carried by Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson. Dear football gods, just give us one summer where we don't have to hear about Cowboys and contract situations with one of their top players. Why do teams struggle to pay their best players? Well, the good ones don't. It's an issue you see over and over again for the teams that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
The only thing good about your organization was that young man.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure you come back tomorrow. We've got a lot of episodes popping this week. I was on vacation. I'm back, recharged, and ready to work, guys.